Good afternoon and welcome to our August 2021 webinar. My name is Lisa Judge and I'm the Manager of Member Advice and Education here at Active Super. We are so happy to have you join us today, especially given the lockdown scenario many of us are facing with all its challenges. Before we commence, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the country where I sit today, which is the Darawal people of the Tarawal Nation, but also the sacred land that each of you are on, and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders here with us today. Today, we will be hearing from our Chief Experience Officer, Heather Dawson, and our Chief Investment Officer, Craig Turnbull. The focus within this presentation is changes to your investment options. Please note that we will address questions at the end. So if you have a burning query, please feel free to ask within the Q&A section. We are unable to address personal advice questions in this forum, and if we don't get a chance to get to your question today, please feel free to email us at hello@activesuper.com.au. We have added a link to the Active Super Financial Services Guide within the Q&A area. The Financial Services Guide, or FSG, is an important document that explains what you can expect to receive from our service, the types of advice, our privacy policy, complaints procedure, how you contact us. It lets you know we're authorised and qualified to advise, as well as containing a lot of other valuable information. So let's start with today's agenda. Today, we will look at what's changing, why it's changing, and the benefits to your super. It's important to note that the information in this presentation is general only and does not take into account your personal objectives, situation, or needs. You should consider obtaining professional financial, taxation, and/or legal advice tailored to your personal situation, and refer to the relevant product disclosure statement located at activesuper.com.au before making a financial decision. So, Heather, before we jump into the investment changes, we've had a big year at Active Super, haven't we?
Yes, we sure have, Lisa, and hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you so very much for joining us today. We're delighted that you're here with us and look forward to sharing these changes with you. And yes, as Lisa said, we've had a big year, so we have launched a new name in terms of Active Super, still the same mission and what we've always stood for as local government super, but hoping to appeal to even more people, a broader audience, and really reflect the active way we approach, which you're going to hear about today. We've also really pleased that we were able to drop the admin fees this year as of 1 July, also eliminate any switching fees. So whenever you want to make changes to your investments, which again, we'll talk about today, no charge to do that. And then today, some of you may have noticed, we've launched our new Member Online platform. So hopefully you find that to be a better experience in terms of following and tracking your super. And also a new app that's available today. So lots of good changes, but perhaps the one that can make the most positive difference long-term to your super and your quality of retirement, if you will, is in terms of how you invest. So really pleased to talk with you about these changes that will take place from 1st of October. And as you know, at Active Super, there's really two ways that you can choose to invest. The first one is our My Super, or that's our default option. And that's really hands-free investing, where you leave it up to Craig Turnbull, who you're going to hear today, and his team to really make sure that your investment portfolio, your investment product that you're in is appropriate to your stage of life. So we'll talk about that and what some of the positive changes that we're making with that. But that's the real set and forget, allows you to know that your investment changes and as you get older. The other one is choice. And some people want to take a more hands-on approach to their investing when it comes to super. You can certainly do that as well. And we have 5 investment options. We'll talk about those today, and you can choose the investment mix that's right for you in those. So we've got big changes going on, and we'll talk about in the My Super, and small changes we'll cover today in the choice options as well. So what are those big, excuse me, big changes? First of all, we're really talking about the age brackets and when the product changes, when the investments change throughout your life journey. Doesn't sound so big, but can make a real big difference in terms of your ultimate outcome and income in retirement. So with that, the whole My Super product, investment product, life stage product, is really based on the foundation, this core investment principle, which I'm sure many of you know very well, that the more risk you take on in your investment, the more higher your potential return. No guarantees with that, but over the long term, that's how the principle is played out. And certainly we know with younger members and the way we structure the My Super product, it does make sense for younger members to invest in higher risk, higher growth assets when they have more time to ride out any highs and lows in the market and any temporary downturns to hopefully achieve that higher potential return. But as we get older, for older members, many people want to reduce the investment risk that they're taking as they near retirement, but at the same time want to find that balance to still grow because they know retirement may last 25, 30 years. So our My Super product really operates on this core investment principle. So currently today, you may be very familiar with this, but just to show you a snapshot, this is the current Active Super, My Super, age-based investment strategy. This is the current default. So younger members are in the high growth option. When we turn 45, then the portfolio, the investment product starts to de-risk down to conservative at age 55. However, we've been doing some work with our consultant Mercer and making some changes to this from 1 October. So again, the current approach is at the top of this slide. You can see the change starts happening at 45. And the new approach come 1 October, members will stay in the higher growth option longer, actually to age 50. And at that time is when the investment product, life stage product, starts to de-risk. We actually don't go all the way to conservative in the new solution. And the reason for that is, again, people are living longer and longer. But I'll turn it over to Craig. He'll explain a bit more of the why of why we're making those changes.
Thank you, Heather, and good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. Reason why we're making the changes? Well, firstly, Australians are living for longer. That's a good thing. So boys born today can expect to reach an age of 81 years, and girls born today can expect to reach an age of 85 years. Australia's oldest person at the moment is 111 years old, so we all might be around for a bit longer than we expect. Also, Australians are working for longer. Partly that's from choice, but also the government's making us work longer. The retirement age to receive the age pension has been moved up to 67 years. And of course, if you are going to live longer, you probably need some more super to live off or to help you live. And so these changes that we're making are about helping you earn more in your super, so it will be a bigger balance and you can live from your super for longer. So the work that we did with Mercer, and Mercer is really one of the world's leading global consultants in this area, was to look at different life stage strategies to see what difference it makes to the retirement balance. And to do that, we modelled all the various different market outcomes, including real life events like what happened in the global financial crisis. And we looked at the outcome of that and then selected life stage strategies that were a good outcome for all our members. And here's where we get to. The table here shows you for each different age category what difference there can be to your retirement balance from the different or the new life stage strategy that we've selected. So for example, for the younger people aged 20 today, with the new strategy, it could mean an increase in your retirement balance of over $100,000. So this is a very big, substantial outcome. So we think it potentially is going to be very good. Notice that it is expected to be good for all age groups, but particularly those younger members can do well by being in the higher growth products for longer. Thank you. Now here's a chart of recent returns that we've had from our products. And so each product is a different line there for different periods. You can see that while we had volatility last year and the market went down, it did recover pretty quickly. And so the long-term returns already look pretty good. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. This is the past and it's going to be different in the future. But what we do expect is that over the long term, returns from the higher risk, higher growth strategies, such as high growth and balanced growth at the top, are likely to be higher than the defensive products, such as cash and conservative at the bottom. And so this is, again, behind the changes to the MySuper strategy, is to keep members in the high growth strategies for longer. And the outcome will be a better super balance. Now, in terms of what else is changing, we're changing the names of the different stages. So I'm going to ask Heather to explain those to you.
Great. Thanks, Craig. Yes, so the default MySuper option number one we're talking about is now called the MySuper product, the Active Super Life Stage product. The Active Super Life Stage product has 3 phases that we talked about today, from the accelerator up to age 49. And that's for people, again, at that age stage. Really, the names are trying to reflect the stage of life that people are in. These are people who are at a stage of life when they may want to take more risks to maximize their potential growth in their super. They've got time on their side and the value of compounding interest. The next one is the accumulator stage, which is age 50 to 54. And 50 to 54 accumulators at this age, members may be starting to think about limiting the downside of any significant market corrections, but they still want to take part of the market growth over the long term. And then finally, the appreciator, age 55 plus, and this can go as long, could go into 60, 65, as long as you want to keep your money invested with Active Super, it'll stay there. And this is for members who've worked really hard in their lives and now they may be moving into that last stage of their full-time working. So they really want to protect that super balance that they have. And also at the same time, to Craig's point of knowing that we have a long time to live, still, hopefully, that actually still enjoying and receiving some growth in their portfolio. So those are the new names. And when you get your statements or you look online, you'll see based on your age that it'll say Active Super Life Stage product and it'll say accelerator, accumulator, appreciator. So you know that it relates to your life stage. So what happens next? These changes happen automatically on 1 October. You don't have to do anything. You can just leave it up to Craig and his team to make the investment changes. And again, remembering that the changes are designed to help maximize your super over the long term and help it last longer in retirement. But again, you have choice. So if you prefer to make your own decisions, then you can certainly still do that. You can always do that at Active Super. So you're welcome to switch to any of the Active Super choice investment options. In fact, some of you, maybe you are already at age 60 or 65, you really like the solution you're in, you like let's say you're sitting in a conservative option, you want to stay there, you can choose to go in and make sure that you stay there. But again, that will be up to you. And if you need some help and guidance, you can always rely on our financial advisors if you'd like some assistance with that. But switching is easy, and again, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can do that at any time. So you simply log on to Member Online. You can make that switch online if you'd like, or give us a call and we can talk you through that process. And you can also have a mix of the MySuper Life Stage products and your own choice options if you'd like. So let's talk about the choice investment products and the small changes, which comes to their names. Again, this is where you can choose from 5 different options. So I'll turn it to Craig. He can talk you through the different choices that you have and the new names.
Right, thank you. So these are the current names for the choice products, listed high growth down through to managed cash. On the right-hand side, we have the allocation to growth assets for each of those products. And we put those down because super products are often categorised by that ratio. Now we're going to change the names of 2 of the products shown here, and that's just to help to avoid confusion, because we found that the names of some of our products line up better against differently than other funds. So we found that for balanced growth, it's probably more common to call that product with a 70-30 ratio a balanced product. So we're changing that name from balanced growth to balance. And because we did that, then we had to change our old balanced, which is going to be conservative balanced. Everything else is exactly the same. It's just to help to bring us in line with what we're seeing with other funds. Okay. Lisa.
Yes, thanks, Craig. So, like the changes to our MySuper product, these changes also are happening automatically on the 1st of October. You don't need to do anything. So there's no action required. It's actually just a name change only to those 2 investment strategies that Craig explained. And there's absolutely no change to the way that these investment options are managed. So with that, there's obviously time to breathe, time to take it all in. There is a lot to take in, but the good thing is it's a great news story for us as members. These changes are here to make improvements to Active Super for all of us. And to help you through the process, we are here to help you. There is more information on our website. There's even a little calculator on the website which you put in your age and it tells you the changes that are relevant to your situation. Today, we've got our new Member Online and app that's launched, so there's even more reason to get involved and connect on our website. If you do have any questions, make sure you call our member services on 1300 547 873. That's one option. Or you can talk to one of our financial planners that you may have already connected with. You can email us or you can chat online through our live chat. And make sure you do follow us. We've upped our social media presence. And we love new followers. So please follow us on social media to keep up with any changes. So I know those Instagram follow rates are going up, which is great. All right. So now it is time for questions. Remember that we are only able to answer questions in a general format today. We are unable to answer personal advice questions. If we don't get a chance to get to your question in particular, please feel free to contact us at any time. So I'll just wait to see some of the questions coming in. Okay, so the first question I can see is that I want to stay with my current choice. How do I do that? So one of a couple of ways you can do that. You can change it through your member online to make the decision to stay in your current choice if through the changes your choice is changing, or you can complete a form as well. So that's the other option. But if you're happy to keep it with the changes that are happening, you don't need to do anything. We had a question earlier that might be relevant as well that I thought I'd put in here. The question was, what will we do if the markets fall before October? And Craig had some really good points about looking at the short-term versus long-term approach. So, Craig, would you be able to go back through that for us?
Sure, Lisa. Yes, this strategy change that we're making to the MySuper product is a long-term strategy change. So, in a sense, the changes that we are making, we think will be better off for all members over the long term. So over the next 5-10 years. Of course, the markets are volatile; they can go up or down. But small changes that occur in the next month before the changes occur are unlikely to have any long-term impact on your balance. With time, things will smooth out. So therefore, we think it's unlikely that anything that happens in the market in the next month will have any difference to these changes. They will go ahead on the 1st of October. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. That's a great explanation. This morning, we also had a member ask about communication in relation to the name changes, the last change we spoke about. So those who are affected by the MySuper changes have already been notified of this information, but the remainder of our membership will be notified through the statements that are coming out very soon, the next month or so. All right, so another question coming in is there an annual limit on the number of free investment switches? So the no cost switch, no, there's not a limit, but it's important obviously to consider. Craig's spoken about the long-term approach and what the approach is based on your own situation. Craig, this one looks like it's for you. Is there any option to invest in crypto?
No, no investments in crypto. You don't get a choice. And if you invest in the blended products, there will be no crypto. We don't invest in that. In fact, the only single strategy option we have for members who want to choose their own option is cash. Everything else is a blend. And however, there's a difference in the blend according to how much risk each product has.
And Craig, I'll keep you on camera there. Another question has come in. Can I invest in real estate with my super? And I thought it might be a good time for you to speak about our portfolio that we have.
Thank you, Lisa. Yes, there is information on the website about some of our investments, including our real estate investments. We run our own active super property fund. So anyone that's invested in the blended products, such as conservative or high growth, or just anyone who's in MySuper, will have some investments in the active super real estate portfolio. And that's performed really well. It's got some great green credentials. And if you'd like to find out more information about that, have a look at the website, and we've made a description of what some of those properties look like. That's
great, thank you. I've had a question here. Currently, I'm 70-30 and I want to stay with that. Of course you can. This is the whole thing about this. You've got the option to make your own selection. You can go into choice, or you can, have us make the decisions for you in the active super life stage product. So that's the benefit of the choice that you have. We also had a question this morning, just while I'm waiting for any more questions to come through. We did have a question in relation to the app, and somebody this morning mentioned that it wasn't working. So it's important that you may need to check to see through the App Store or through the Android option with apps to see if there's an update required. So that's something to look out for. All right, we've got another question here. What ethical investment options are available? And Craig, we've got a fantastic approach here at Active Super. Is there something you would like to tell our members about?
Sure. Our approach is that every product that we offer is very sustainable and is very responsible. And so we don't have just a sustainable option. Everything that we do follows that very high standard sustainability policy that we employ. So it's a whole of fund approach, we call it, and therefore every member, every one of our members is part of that process that we use. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. And we have had a question about how much is the reduction in fees. So from the 1st of July, the admin fee for accumulation pension and retirement scheme for the per week fee was reduced to $1.27 a week, and the admin fee percentage dropped to 0.24 for accumulation scheme members, and the switching fee was abolished for our membership. So they were the changes that came into play from the 1st of July. And I think we might have one more coming through, I can see. So we'll go to that. Not quite, maybe not coming through. Oh yes, here we go. So is there any option which has climate change friendly and environmentally sustainable products in it? Craig, that's one for you.
Yes, we have a very strong climate change policy. Yes, we have a very strong climate change policy whereby we will try and manage the risks in the portfolio to climate change problems. And we do that by not exposing or making too many investments in areas that could be hurt if there's different policy changes or different laws or regulations. We don't want to get stuck with assets that could be hurt if people move away from different forms of energy production. We want to take advantage of new developments that might come along to invest in new areas to get around climate change. And so all of our products use that same policy. And so everyone who invests with Active Super is investing in a way whereby the climate change risks are being managed very well.
Excellent, thank you. And we had one final question asking about changes. What changes apply to the account-based pension? So the account-based pension, those last name change conventions that we talked about with the balanced and conservative strategy, that's what changes for account-based pension members. Okay. And look, we have we're sitting at 4:28, and we are conscious of your time. So that is all that we do have time for today in relation to questions. We do hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Please remember to email, call us, or go to our website to start a web chat if you do have any more questions. Don't forget that Your Team, Your Super regional webinars will be running over the next few weeks. If you haven't already registered and you would like to know more about Active Super and your regional team, you can register through the link that we've put in our chat today. Until then, and on behalf of Heather, Craig and myself, thank you for being valuable members of Active Super and for taking the time to listen to us today. Stay safe and see you all next time.